communities across the country, we are seeing escalating fear and intimidation that our residents are experiencing due to the prevalence of ICE agents in their neighborhoods, their schools, their shopping centers, and their public spaces that once were considered to be a safe space. As I listen to the people in my district talking about the atrocities happening in our streets, I first have to look at this as a mom. And it is heartbreaking to know that the children of Renee Good will be growing up without one of their mothers. And the family of Alex Preddy will be burying their son. It is just horrific and it is heartbreaking. The realities are that these murders and the devastation that we're seeing is preventable. And while the stories of Renee and Alex are very prominent, they're not isolated incidents. ICE's violence has escalated with one major contributing factor, and that being their training and their recruitment practices. Before the current Trump administration, ICE agents received an average of 16 weeks of training. Now that average has dropped to about 47 days. Our state and local law enforcement agents in Illinois receive extensive training and hold themselves to a very high standard. They are trained to de-escalate, especially when it comes to dangerous situations. They have crisis intervention training. This is not what we're seeing with the federal agents in our streets. Our police officers have spent years building community trust, and with what's going on in our streets right now, that trust is beginning to crumble, and it is not their fault. We should never let anyone in the field who only has 47 days of training. This piece of legislation is to hold the high standards that we have here in Illinois and protect our citizens and our neighborhoods and our communities. We want to rebuild our trust with law enforcement. And the risk of not rising to protect Illinois communities against ICE is too great. And we cannot allow this overreach to continue.
I commend Senator Fine for advancing this important and timely legislation. It makes good sense, right? She described in detail 47 days of training. They really don't have experience with de-escalation. And we have some outstanding law enforcement agencies in the state of Illinois. And as a former fire and police commissioner in my hometown, we hired and we recruited officers who we held at the highest standards. In Illinois, they require extensive training and ongoing training, and so we want to see that continue. We cannot afford to have ICE agents infiltrate our outstanding law enforcement departments in the state of Illinois. We know that with their intent, we do not want to see any lawlessness or thuggery or cruelty in Illinois. We have, again, amazing law enforcement agents, and we want to keep it that way. I once again applaud Senator Fine for advancing this legislation. We stand in solidarity with her to make sure we get it to the finish line. It is so important that we advance this important and timely legislation during a time such as this. We already restrict cooperation between local law enforcement and the federal immigration agents to foster public trust. And you heard what Senator Fine says, what they're doing is eroding public trust. And we say, ICE out of Illinois, we don't want to have this in Illinois. We want to continue to build the trust in law enforcement agents, again, in Illinois, outstanding law enforcement agents. We have the Trust Act for a reason and the Way Forward Act for a reason. We want to make sure that all Illinoisans feel safe.
Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to keep up to date with news from the caucus. For more information on what the senator is working on, please follow them on social media using the links in the description below.